Oh, hey everyone. Oh, welcome back to my workbench. Ow. I've been getting some leg work done on my veins. Some vein work done on my legs. Oh my goodness. So in terms of updates, I've got 7 of the 10 overlay 5200 controllers shipped already. So I'm already caught up till like the second week of August, order wise. I can't drink any coffee on like days I get the legwork done, so I'm a coffee drinker. It's rough. I don't usually drink coffee at 10:09 at night, but here we are. So, good news is I got 7 of them out. There's 3 left, so I did want to switch back and get these 2 classics done. These are, well, I don't sell too many of these. These are the whoa, dual stick classics. So I just need to make up the 3 button assemblies for them. It's like building 4 controllers when you build 2. So it's a bit of work. Oh, but that's fine. So I'm going through now. I'm just doing the final wiring for wiring up these guys, and then it'll be just the final harness work. Snip this off. Man. So the problem is I have like no working valves in my deep veins in my legs, so you get really bad varicose veins, which is not fun. And not only is it kind of ugly, it's also can cause issues in terms of life quality. So you can get open wounds and all sorts of stuff like that. So, oh, this is I got myself a new magnifier light, which is fun. So about 2 months back, I can use a voice. About 2 months back, I did this. I bought a fancy bird feeder that has a camera and AI built into it, so when the birds come up, it identifies what the species is. Kind of neat. My wife likes birds a lot. And I reviewed it. I don't review that much stuff on Amazon. And it says, would you like to be part of the Vine program? And it's like, well, that's kind of interesting. So, long story short, you get to pick out items and they ship them to you for free. Well, free except for taxes. But the whole thing is you're supposed to be honest with your reviews. And some things pretty decent, some things but I'm honest. I mean, if I think it sucks, I tell you it sucks. And so if you ever see reviewed by verified Vine blah blah blah, I happen to be one of those people. So this nice little magnifier here, just really good lens, by the way. I'm very happy with it. I actually have to review this tonight. Really decent. So I don't make any money off of referrals or anything like that, so I don't care. But I got the item for free, so it's actually pretty nice. I like it. The working distance is decent. It's a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, so more than enough to get in there. I don't have to be leaning in there with a stereo microscope. I have a stereo microscope, but it's a lot of leaning and stuff. It's a really good, I'd say about, I don't know, 3x magnification, somewhere around there. Pretty decent for what I need, so I'm happy with it. And price, I can't beat it because I got it for free. So yeah, pretty neat. If you ever get invited, give it a try. If you don't mind supporting Amazon, which is slightly, yeah, not quite sure how to feel about that, but if they companies like Radio Shack still in existence, that'd be nice, so we can buy electronics locally, but that's not the case. And then the only other spot around here is like American Science and Surplus, and they're struggling right now. They're closing down their online ordering, and I think they're going to close their Park Ridge store. And if you're not a Chicago native, American Science and Surplus is just that. It's a combination of surplus scientific items, microscopes, beakers, stuff like that, and then they used to have military surplus, but I don't think as much anymore. The whole, like, I miss it, the whole military surplus stores. I don't really have any good ones. I mean, I live in Chicagoland, and I haven't really seen an active surplus store in a while. This is kind of sad. So I bought my son a really good NASA jumpsuit. I remember that when he was like 6 or 7. It's a nice blue NASA jumpsuit from a military surplus store. So all I'm doing right now is soldering the common lead for the little 3 push button assembly. But man, that vein work, whew. What they do is they actually go in there and they take a needle and go in, and then they juice you up with this numbing agent, and then they go in with a laser and basically weld some of your peripheral veins shut. So that's fun. Yeah, some of those pokes are awfully painful. But here I am. This is very distracting to sit here and do a little of this slightly mindless work, which I don't mind. Sometimes mindless is a good thing. It kind of gets you that kind of a zen thing, really. Just get in there and do some soldering and some assembly. I probably won't get these done tonight, but I'll definitely get them done tomorrow. And I could ship those out. Then I just have those 3 overlay sticks, and I'm caught up till September. And it's only September 10th right now. Oh my goodness, September 11th tomorrow. Happy Patriots Day, I think they call it. Oh, I still remember September 11th. So I was working as a test engineer, as I have for a long time now, and I am in the back of the lab working on the vibration test. See, I've got the ear protection on. I can't hear anything. I mean, you can't listen to anything. And so I got my headphones on. There's no internet back there. So I'm just doing my thing. I come up front to the office area because there's arranged to get offices in the back, and then offices in the front, and then all the testing stuff in the back, like the shaker tables and environmental chambers. The temperature, humidity stuff is all in the back of the lab. So I come up front, everyone's just standing around. I was like, what's going on? And it's like, plane hit the World Trade Center. And I was like, big plane, little plane, what happened? And about 10 minutes later, the news came through about the second plane hitting. And that was just messed up, man. And then, because I live pretty close, I went home for lunch and actually watched the second tower falling. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it was the first tower falling at lunchtime. And it was I still remember the fact that the weather in Chicago that day was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was just a gorgeous day that day. I mean, it's like 73 degrees, little white puffy clouds. I mean, weather-wise, it was a gorgeous day. And then that happened. And then I remember that weekend, that week afterwards, when they basically grounded everything. There was no like air traffic at all, and just how like quiet and serene it was when you we had a picnic with my wife, and no girlfriend at the time. We weren't married yet. It was 2001, so we weren't even married yet. So went out with a picnic with my girlfriend at the time, now wife, and it was just this surreal, like, quiet. It's weird. There's no contrails in the sky or anything like that. It was pretty amazing. My son doesn't get it at all. Why my wife and I make a big deal of like how it affected us. It's like psychologically. It's like, well, if you were there, you probably would get it. But I can understand. It's like, I would get Pearl Harbor. I mean, I understand how it's a big thing, but I didn't experience it firsthand, so I can't say much. So yeah, interesting world we live in right now. Yeah, that's my 9/11 story. Oh, and I remember we had a conference call. We were supposed to have a conference call. We had a conference. It must have been a Tuesday, because every Tuesday we had a conference call with Lockheed Martin for the F-22 fighter. We made the pump motor and controller for the F-22, and I remember it's like all the phone lines were just, you couldn't get basically get a dial tone. And for ye olden days, and they actually taught you this in school, explaining how like T1, T2, T3 lines, all the way up to T6 lines worked, and how the PSTN, the plain old switch telephone network, publicly switched telephone network, is PSTN, only can handle 10% load. So what that means is, for every 100 phone numbers, only 10 people could actually make a phone call at once. So when everyone tries to call at once, the system was never designed to do 100% capacity. Of course, that's all changed now with V over IP and stuff like that. But back then, when you're still using POTS, plain old telephone, what is it, PSTN, publicly switched telephone network. But back then, back in 2001, we were still used to using copper. There was some fiber, it's mostly copper, microwave. But the way the systems are set up, you can only handle about 10% of people making a phone call at once. So if you had to try to make a phone call, it tied up the network. I'm in Chicago, but it tied up the network. And we were trying to call, where were they at? Somewhere in the south, I think. I can't remember. Or maybe out west. But either way, it wasn't anywhere on the East Coast we were calling. And the network was just like busy. You just pick up the dial, pick up the receiver, and just beep, 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 beep. Like you pulled the phone off the hook too long, and you just couldn't get a dial tone. And that lasted like a day. You couldn't really make a phone call anywhere. The internet was okay, but it was getting really bogged down, and all the news sites were all super bogged down as well. It really shows you the limitations of the technology at the time, even though that wasn't all that long ago. Well, I guess it was 24 years ago, so things have changed a bit in 24 years. Yeah, but we had to learn how they did all the bonding for the and multiplexing for the telephone networks. Kind of interesting stuff. I'm sure I know a lot of it. Well, that being said, I mean, TCP/IP already existed for some years before that. The internet as we know it today, because that was 95 to 98. I went to school, so 95. The web was already starting to take off. By time 98 rolled around, it was pretty common stuff. But heck, even my own website, I think I started in 99. So the original, like, cyberfreak.com was more or less a blog. That was back in, I believe it was 99 is when I started it. Yeah. Bought my domain. Domain names are really expensive back then. I remember that was a big expense. But yeah, that's how old I am. Yeah, I've had my own website for 26 years, I guess. That's a long time. And then my son, I love the questions my son comes up with, because he's 19. So he didn't get to see all this stuff for me. So you get stuff like, what was this question? Oh, I just forgot. Something about how the internet worked. I can't remember now. Of course, dial-up networking, never had to deal with that. A lot of things he hasn't had to worry about. Oh, I just saw an article that AOL, American Online, is finally discontinuing their dial-up service. They still have dial-up? Oh my god. I couldn't believe they still do that. Well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're in a really rural location, it's hard to get broadband in the middle of nowhere, unless you're doing like satellite. But that can be really cost prohibitive too. Come on, you know you want flow. So after this, these controllers, these 5 going on here, I'm switching back to the Intellivision. I think I had one customer who has a little bit of an issue with the basically directions when you're coming off the diagonal into that weird position from you get position 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, coming off a little too early, so it's jumping to the next position. Well, it's weird because I'm trying to really tweak in. I want to make sure that I get enough engagement on the second deck. But the problem is if you go too far, what happens is the original micro switches on the lower deck that come with the joystick disengage too early. So yeah, I think I'm going to rotate the one deck just like 2 degrees, maybe a real small amount, to see if that brings it in a little better. Or I might try making a little bit different of an actuator, because the problem I'm running into is when you tilt over here, these micro switches are still like this. So if I put a little conical end to the actuator, I get a nice like line-to-line strike, and I'm thinking that's going to give a little bit better response in the off 8 directions. At least there's only 4 directions I'm really fighting with. Just that when it comes off the micro switch, making sure it gets off of that micro switch before the other micro switch disengages. So I'll show you when I get there. So he's going to be sending that controller back. I'm going to take a look at it. For now, I think I've talked enough for now. Too much coffee late at night. I never do coffee this late, but I really, really needed it. And I'm going to finish doing this assembly work. I'm just going to be doing a bunch of crimping, which is boring as hell to watch. And get these 2 dual sticks out. And then just 3 more of those, and then back to the Intellivision. So a couple days I'll be all caught up with the 5200 stuff all the way through. Let me see where I'm gonna be caught up to. I'm gonna be caught up all the way to very end of August. So once this batch is done, I'll do some Intellivision and switch back to the two 5200 stragglers. But yeah, so the summer sale is over on the 5200. I had to settle the quantities to 0 because I need to get in. I've got 9 or 10, some weird number because I couldn't order that many 15-pin cables, so those will be coming in. And I have a lot of parts for the Intellivision, so once I get back to that, let's see if I can drum up a little more business on that. And yeah, I'm a perfectionist too, so I really want to make sure it's like spot on those off directions. I mean, it's real close. Most are pretty darn good. I wouldn't say perfect, but pretty darn good. That being said, like the original pad isn't like all that fantastic on the off directions either. So so I want to be at least as good as the original, if not better. So all right, that's it for tonight. I am going to sign off and do a few more of these and then see if I can get some sleep. Everyone, thank you for watching, and see you next time.